Welcome back to the Future Strong podcast. Today we're exploring something pretty interesting. It's called essentialism. And we're going to try to figure out why slowing down can sometimes actually lead to having a bigger impact in life.
Yeah, it's definitely a paradox.
Yeah.
Especially if you think about all the knowledge workers out there today. They have so much autonomy. I mean, flexible schedules, working remotely, all that. But, they're often just overwhelmed with more and more work.
Yeah, so it's like the more freedom we get, the busier we are. It really makes you wonder if we're actually in control or if it's just a new type of work structure that's trapping us.
You hit the nail on the head. The expectation that we're always available and always have to be productive, it just leads to burnout. You end up feeling trapped even with all this freedom.
Right. And that brings us to what we call the speed trap. I mean, society almost makes being busy seem like a good thing. Like being constantly on the go is something to be proud of.
Oh, absolutely. We've become addicted to speed. We wear our busy schedules like some kind of trophy. But all this rushing around stops us from really thinking about what's important. We lose sight of what really matters. We end up chasing all these goals that don't really give us lasting satisfaction.
The novelist Milan Kundera, he once wrote, "The ecstasy of speed is the form of ecstasy that most corresponds to the spirit of our time." It's like we're all caught up in this frenzy of just going and going. But are we really getting anywhere meaningful?
And there's a real cost to all this frenzy. Time is limited. It's something we can't get back. And we waste so much of it on things that don't make our lives any richer. I think it's because we're so focused on what we don't have that we forget to appreciate what we do have.
So how do we get out of the speed trap? Maybe the answer is kind of surprising. What if we slow down?
I know it sounds strange, but think about it. What if we embrace a slower pace? Even if it's just for little bits of time throughout the day. Maybe we won't accomplish as much in the traditional sense. But is that really a bad thing? Maybe the real problem isn't that we don't have enough time. Maybe it's our ambition and always wanting more.
That's a really interesting way to look at it. It makes you question what we think of as productivity and success.
Exactly, right? What if we stopped focusing on how much we do and started focusing on how well we do it? What if quality became more important than quantity?
So it's about being intentional with what we do and where we put our energy.
Precisely. When we slow down, we get our most precious resource back, time. And that creates the space for intuition, reflection, creativity. All of that can flourish.
It's almost like hitting the reset button for our minds and bodies. It gives us a chance to tune in to what really matters and to live with more purpose.
That's it. When we do that, we start to experience life in a whole new way. All the richness and the vividness that gets lost when we're always rushing.
Instead of just going through the motions, we're present. We're actually living.
That change in how we see things can be really powerful. Think about Albert Einstein, a man known for revolutionary ideas. He really believed in slow, deep thinking. That's how he made his big discovery about the constant speed of light. That idea changed our understanding of the universe. And it came from contemplation, not from rushing.
That's an amazing example. It shows that sometimes real innovation comes from slowing down and letting our minds explore new possibilities.
It's about resisting that pressure to always be doing and instead embracing just being. It's about quality over quantity, depth over superficiality. It's about reclaiming our time and energy to create a life that's truly meaningful and fulfilling.
So essentialism is about making conscious choices about where we spend our time and energy. It's about learning to say no to what's not essential so we can say yes to what aligns with our values and goals.
You got it. It's about figuring out what's truly essential and letting go of everything else.
That's a powerful idea. And something we'll definitely explore more in the next part of our discussion about essentialism. So we're back talking about essentialism and how it helps us break free from that speed trap.
And it all comes down to focusing on what really matters, letting go of all the extra stuff. But that's tough in a world that's constantly throwing demands and distractions at us.
It's like trying to hear a whisper in a hurricane.
Yeah.
How do we even begin to put essentialism into practice? How do we figure out what's truly essential and make room for it in our lives?
There's this question that's really helpful. It's simple but powerful. What's the one thing I can do right now that would make everything else easier or unnecessary?
I like that question. It forces us to prioritize, to think strategically about what we do instead of getting lost in a to-do list a mile long.
Exactly. It helps us see those leverage points, the things that will have a ripple effect and move us closer to our goals. It's about working smarter, not harder.
It makes me think about self-care too. Essentialism is about protecting our mental and emotional well-being. It's about creating space for what's important.
Absolutely. And it's about realizing we can't do everything. Trying to do it all just leads to burnout and feeling unsatisfied. We have to give ourselves permission to say no, to set boundaries to protect our time and energy.
This whole new way of thinking.
Yeah.
It's about realizing that our value isn't tied to how much we do, but to the quality of what we do and the impact we have. It's about choosing to live a life that's both meaningful and sustainable.
That's so important. Essentialism isn't about doing nothing. It's about making choices on purpose, both big and small choices, and aligning those choices with our values to create a life that truly reflects who we are.
A lot of us were on autopilot, just reacting to whatever comes our way. But essentialism is about stepping back, taking a breath, and actually choosing the direction we want to go.
It's about taking control of our lives and creating a future that we're excited about, a future filled with purpose and joy.
It's about trusting that slow and steady wins the race, that it'll lead us to a more fulfilling place than the chaotic path that society tries to push us on.
It's about believing that less can be more, and that slowing down can actually help us achieve more of what truly matters.
We're back and we're still in the thick of it, figuring out how to escape that speed trap and embrace essentialism. I think now we should get down to brass tacks. How do we actually put this into practice?
Okay, so one of the most important things about essentialism is learning to tell the difference between what's essential and what just seems important. We need to shift away from feeling like we have to do everything and start choosing things based on our values and goals.
It's almost like decluttering our to-do list. But instead of getting rid of stuff, we're getting rid of commitments, obligations, even thoughts that aren't helping us.
Exactly. You got it. It's all about being aware of how we're spending our time and energy. Here's a little exercise you can try. Write down everything you're committed to, both in your personal life and your work life. Then ask yourself, if I can only pick 3 things from this list, which ones would I choose?
That would definitely make you think about what's most important. It can be hard to let go of things. But in the end, it frees us up to focus on what matters most.
And saying no, that's a skill. It takes practice. It's about setting boundaries and protecting your time and energy so you can use them for things that really fit with your purpose.
We have to remember, time is our most valuable resource. We need to spend it wisely.
Another big part of essentialism is making space for reflection and deep thinking. It's so easy in today's world to get caught up in a never-ending stream of information and distractions.
We're always on, always connected. It can be really draining.
You're telling me. That's why it's crucial to make time for stillness, to disconnect from the digital world and reconnect with ourselves, whether it's meditation journaling, spending time in nature, or even just taking a few deep breaths and being present. Creating space for reflection helps us tune into our inner wisdom and see things more clearly.
It's like hitting pause on life, giving ourselves a moment to catch up with our thoughts and feelings.
Once we've made that space, we can start to design our lives with more intention, setting clear goals that match our values, and taking steps to reach them.
We become the architects of our own lives, instead of letting outside circumstances control us.
Now, that's what I'm talking about. And remember, progress is more important than perfection. It's about taking small, steady steps in the right direction, even if they seem small at the time. Over time, those small steps add up to big results.
Essentialism isn't a one-time thing. It's about constantly refining and adjusting, staying true to ourselves and our purpose, even when the world around us keeps changing.
You put it perfectly. It's about living a life that's both meaningful and fulfilling. It's about finding joy in what truly matters and letting go of the rest.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation about essentialism. Before we go, I want you to think about one small step you can take today to live a more essential life. What can you let go of? What can you say no to? And what can you say yes to with more purpose and excitement?
Those are some great questions to think about. Remember, the journey of essentialism is different for everyone. The key is to find what works for you and keep moving forward one step at a time.
Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into essentialism. We hope it's been helpful and inspiring. Until next time, remember to slow down, enjoy the moment, and focus on what really matters.